Sobriety came.
This sober vet.
Don't live, don't live, don't live.
Our mission is to normalize sobriety with veterans who are using and abusing substances in a harmful, self-medicating way. All right, world, welcome to This Sober Vet. I am Army veteran Joe Urick, and if no one told you yet today, sobriety looks good on you. I'm rolling solo today. This is Dr. T's birthday weekend, so we wish her a happy and healthy birthday and hope she's had fun wherever she is in the world. I want to start just with a quick PSA. For many veterans, sobriety isn't just about putting down the bottle. It's about finding something strong enough to help carry the weight that alcohol once masked. Religion could provide that anchor. Faith offers purpose when mission feels lost, hope when guilt feels overwhelming, and a community when isolation starts closing in. Veterans are trained to fight battles, but some of the hardest ones happen internally, against trauma, shame, anger, and addiction. Religion can remind a veteran that they are not alone, that their past does not define them, and that healing is possible, whether it's prayer, fellowship, forgiveness, or simply believing in something greater than themselves. Faith can help replace chaos with structure, despair with hope, and addiction with a renewed sense of purpose. Sobriety gives veterans their life back. Faith can help give that life meaning. So we're going to jump right in. Super pumped about today's guest. We have a Marine veteran, and I'm going to read his bio right quick. So we have Richard Andrew Farr. Is it
correct?
Perfect. Enlisted.
Good job, man.
Thanks, brother. He enlisted into the U.S. Marine Corps in June of 2004, serving 4 years as a member of the 3rd Battalion, 8th Marines India Company, including tours in Karma and Ramadi, Iraq, during Operation Iraqi Freedom, as well as the 22nd MEU in 2007. On July 27, 2006, while on patrol near Ramadan, Farr and 3 other Marines were hit with shrapnel. Along with the Purple Heart, Corporal Farr was awarded numerous medals and commendations during his service, including the Marine Corps Good Conduct Medal, the Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medal, and Combat Action Ribbon for Iraq, and the Humanitarian Service Medal. Married to Katrina Farr and living in...
You're going to say it. You're going to get it. I know it. You're going to get it.
Murfreesboro.
Yeah, dude. You got it. Awesome.
Living in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. It for the listeners, it is spelled super weird, but it's Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
It is super weird. It is a super weird spelling, yes.
Farr has been extremely active and involved in numerous veterans organizations and causes, i.e. Irreverent Warriors, Nashville Lead Coordinator, District Coordinator, and Regional Coordinator, Marine Corps League State Sergeant at Arms and State Judge Advocate, American Legion, and Military Order of the Purple Heart, Tennessee Chief of Staff. He is a veteran advocate, a past VFW State Chaplain, 3 years, a past All-State and All-American Post Commander, 2 years, and is a past VFW Tennessee District 5 Commander, past VFW Southern Conference Chaplain, 4 years. Currently, he is in the Ton Militia Commander for Murfreesboro, Tennessee, Chief of Staff, Tennessee Military Order of the Purple Heart, Chaplain / Secretary Stones River Chapter, TNSSAR, TNSSAR Patriot Outreach Committee Chair, and newly elected Second Vice American Legion number 288. Richard is 7 years sober, and as you could hear from that bio, he is thriving. Welcome, Richard. How are you, sir?
Hey, man. Yeah, thank you. Wow. I've been wanting to be on this show for a long time because I've been following you for a long time. And I was like, dude, I'm sober. I should be. I need to be on that podcast.
Oh, yeah.
But no, I'm really glad that you had me. I'm almost actually 8 years. I'll be 8 years sober July 31st of this year.
Outstanding. That's freaking awesome. Congratulations. That's huge.
Yeah, it was tough, man. I'm genetically predisposed for alcoholism. My dad was an alcoholic. My grandfather was an alcoholic, and it got to me. I got in trouble in high school for drinking. I got in trouble for drinking in college.
Actually,
I
hold
got
on. Let's start.
NJP.
Let's
Oh,
start.
sorry.
Let's start in high school. Let's kind of start with that journey. How you decided with the Marines and how alcohol kind of started early on. So yeah, let's jump right
Okay.
into high school.
High school, I went to a boarding school in Massachusetts. The Brooks School started in 1927. We actually have our 100th centennial party coming up next year,
Nice.
which I'm also a giving committee chairman of the alumni board
Where do you
for the
find the
giving committee.
time? Holy crap.
Well, I'm retired. Okay, yeah, I'll get into that, but
Okay.
I am retired.
Gotcha.
But boarding school, I mean, I was living in New Hampshire, but the boarding school was in Massachusetts, so I was a boarder. I was not a day student, and so one of my friends was from Kuwait, um, and he came back from holiday, and he had a trunk filled with booze,
Oh snap.
um, and we just had a party, and we were partying in another guy's room, and me and three other guys were basically suspended for like 3 days. We had to go through a disciplinary committee. It was like six teachers, six students. I remember one teacher, and I'm not going to say her name on this podcast, but she wanted me gone. I mean, done. Like what I did, like because I was a bartender, I was mixing all the drinks. She wanted me gone, and my dad fought for me. And he came down, he took me home. I only lived like 45 minutes away in Exeter, New Hampshire. So it wasn't a long trip. Like one guy, he lived in Ponte Vedra, Florida. So he
Oh,
had to
wow.
he had to go home for 3 days and then come back.
Hmm.
It was a really stupid thing that we did. But boarding school, besides that, high school was great. We had a class of 92. I just had my 30th high school reunion 2 months ago.
Nice.
Drove up to Massachusetts from Tennessee, took 18 hours, never doing that again. I'm 48. I can't, I mean, at 26, yeah, that's fine.
Nice.
48, no way. No, I had to stop in Culpeper, Virginia, and then go up to Massachusetts. And on the way back, I stopped in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, then home. Like, in our younger days, we could do the whole thing in one sitting.
Right.
Not now.
Not no more.
No way.
Nice. Well, that's awesome. All right. So coming out of high school, so then you went to college first before joining?
I did. I went to Rollins College, which I'm actually
Nice.
wearing today.
I see you.
I was on the rowing team, but I also joined a fraternity. I joined the Tau Kappa Epsilon fraternity, Zeta Phi chapter of Rollins College. Great college. I was a classical studies major, but I like to drink, and it was the 90s. It was Florida. It was basically Orlando. And we just got down. I mean, it was amazing. I spent 5 years in that place,
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm sure you
but
had
I
some
got
epic
suspended.
parties.
Yeah, but I got suspended for, I think my first junior year, I got a 1.67 GPA. So I missed like 3 weeks of classes. I spent the time in my buddy's room drinking, and then we would go out every night, and we would go to Outback for 2-for-1s back in the 90s when it was, 2-for-1s. They'd always take my car keys away, and I would do that every day.
Wow.
I wasn't on the rowing team. I quit the rowing team. I was a fraternity guy full time, and I just partied. And by the grace of God, my dad, I had to meet with the dean, and my dad came down again. I wasn't seeing a pattern I didn't see a pattern then. I really didn't. And so my dad came down. We talked to the dean, which I had never met the dean before. In 3 years, I had never met the dean ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in his office, and I take 6 months off. I come back to school. I'm on super academic probation, like in Animal House, like if you've ever seen that movie.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so I go, I do classes. I do really well. and I graduate. I have a 3.1 in my major, but overall I had a 2.78. So I went from a 1.65, 1.67 to a 2.78 in a year. I was very lucky. And when I graduated, I looked over. My mom and my dad were looking at me, and I was getting my diploma from Dr. Bornstein, who was the president at the time. And I looked over to my parents, and they're like mouthing, God. They said, thank God, because that school, I mean, it's very expensive now, but back then it was like 27 grand a year. Now it's like $75,000 for a boarder to go to my school right now, which I love Rollins. I do. I'm not saying anything bad. It's just education is getting very, very expensive nowadays.
Right. Cool. So what was the next step after you graduated college?
After college, I went to a job fair. Well, during college, I went to a job fair at the Orlando Convention Center, and I met with this guy, Todd Whiff, great guy, and he was a district guy for Sherwin-Williams. And so I was in the management of the MTP program, or manager trainee program, for the company known as Sherwin-Williams. And ask how, you guys know what it is. It's paint supplies, it's carpet, it's wall coverings, it's everything. And so I moved down to Naples, Florida, and I worked there for probably about 4 years. 9/11 occurred when I was mixing 80 gallons of paint in the back.
Wow.
And I heard 9/11 occur when I was in the back mixing paint on the Howard Stern show. And I thought it was a bit. I thought it was a joke. We all love to listen to that, like, while we're mixing paint, because, we had the automatic tinter, and then we had this big old, I don't know, had rollers on it. So you had the 5 gallons of just white paint, and then it would go to the tinner, and then it would go to the shaker. So like you could do 80 to 100 gallons of paint in like 30 minutes.
Wow.
I mean, we had 3 high rises in Naples. It was a $1.5 million store. And I was a manager trainee. Then I became the assistant manager. So I was in charge of 77 different accounts, charge accounts, plus DIYs, do-it-yourselfers. And, it was going pretty well, but, I was still drinking. I was doing drugs, some other stuff that you snort up your nose because it's Florida.
Mm-hmm.
That got really bad because once my nose started bleeding, I was like, nope, that's it. I'm not doing that anymore. And then I just turned to drinking. And the funny thing is, and it's not funny, but like one of my employees when I was working there, he was a Marine, and this was way before I even thought about, enlisting. But this guy, he was a Marine, and he was a big drinker. Like, he would smell like booze every single day. Well, he would come in and he would put tall boys in the ladies' bathroom, and he would put like a paper towel. He would put them in the garbage can and put a paper towel over it to hide the alcohol.
Wow.
Well, this guy, he got so lit one day, the manager told me, he's like, hey, you got to fire this guy.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, what? I've never fired anyone in my entire life. You want me to do it? And he's like, yeah, it's good for you. I'm like, okay. So I had to let this guy go. I had to talk to this Marine, and he was a recon Marine. I mean, he was, and I didn't know what that was at the time. And but I fired him. I was like, hey, you're not doing Sherwin-Williams justice. You're drunk. You're going to the ladies' room every like 10 minutes to drink a beer. Like,
Wow.
It's not very conducive for the company. And so, but while I'm doing that, I'm going home every night and I'm getting shithouse in Naples, Florida, or like on 3rd Ave or Park Ave or whatever. I kind of like, me and my buddy, not him, but another buddy of mine, we ran Naples. Like, we would hit all the places. We would like start at dinner, and then we'd go to McCabe's Irish Pub, and then we'd be there for like 6 hours. And then when it closed, we would go down to Patty Murphy's down the street, which is not there anymore. And they were open until like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
So we would continue, and then I'd go home, and then I'd get up at 7 o'clock and do it all over again. And then 9/11 happened. And then I got the bug. I was like, well, damn, I want to go. I want to join. And I couldn't. My parents would not let me join. My dad was Navy. My mom was a Navy wife, lawyer, and my dad was a Navy doctor. And my dad, my mom and dad, they didn't want me to go after not. Yeah, they didn't want me to go. They told me, they're like, nope, wait until you get to go to OCS. Don't enlist. And I didn't want to do that. I was like stubborn. I was an obstinate young man. Mm-hmm. And I was like, they have no idea what they're talking about. But I didn't join. I stayed working with Sherwin-Williams. It got really bad. They had to actually transfer me to another Sherwin-Williams store in Naples because I was drinking a lot, and they could see it. And this was after I fired the guy. And then I moved up to the North Store on Gulf Shore on Tamiami Trail on 41. And then I just, I got fed up. I was at the industrial store. I was like, nope, I don't want to do this anymore. And so I quit. And I took a week or 2 weeks off, and I'm like, okay, well, now I need a job. And so I go to Wachovia, or Wells Fargo. I don't know. It's one of those banks. I can't remember which one it was. But I worked at I went in and I was a teller, and I did that for a little bit, for like maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and I was like, man, this sucks. I do not like this. So I took a lunch break, and I took my scooter because I didn't have a car. I was driving a scooter in Naples, Florida. I know. Big guy like me, 6'1", I'm like 250 pounds, and I'm a scooter going down 41 like this. It was great. But I took my lunch break, and I didn't go to lunch. I went to the recruiting office down on Pine Ridge Road, which was the next road down. Because I was on Bonita Beach Road. Pine Ridge was the next one down. So I went down there, talked to the recruiters, and I was 26 at the time. And I'm like, well, I want to join. And they're like, okay, well, we need your birth certificate. We need your high school diploma. We need your college diploma. I was like, okay. So I gave them all that stuff. Then I went back to work. And then, I worked for maybe another week or so, and then I quit. And I was not living in a very, very good, conducive way for me. I had an apartment. I was behind on the rent. And then I got a call from one of the recruiters, and he's like, all right, you got to take your ASVAB. I'm like, all right. So I took my ASVAB in 15 minutes. I did ACD the entire way. I got a 54 with a 105 GT score.
Get out of here.
And it was good enough to be infantry, and that's what I wanted to be. I mean, they had to take me down to the officer candidate place down in Miami, but my recruiter told me to tell the officer recruiter, to pound sand, because he wanted me to be a Mustang. He wanted me to do my 4 years enlistment and then go be an officer. And I was like, he's like, yeah, you're going to be a Mustang. I was like, what the hell is a Mustang? I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
But see, like for your Army, right?
Yep.
So that's like green to gold, right?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. So we call it in the Navy and the Marine Corps, we call it being a Mustang. I don't know if you guys call it that.
No, just a green and gold. Yeah.
Yeah. And so in June 21st, 2004, I was on a bus to Orlando Airport, stayed over that night, flew to Charleston, South Carolina, and then they took us down to the basement of the airport, basically started hazing the shit out of us.
Oh, yeah.
What's your social? What's your name? all that stuff, shoe size, all that stuff. And then we got on a bus, and then we basically bussed to Paris Island. We got there it was dark. We had to pull the shades. But then when we got there, like this big guy came on the bus. Get off my bus. This big black guy.
Mm-hmm.
It was either a white guy or a black guy. I can't remember. But we got off the bus. We got on the yellow footprints, and it started my 13 weeks of hell.
Yep. Nice.
June 21st, 2004. I was with 2nd Battalion, Fox Company, Platoon 2081. Got the shit kicked out of me for 13 weeks, and then graduated September 17th, 2004. And that was boot camp. I mean, but yeah, I'll pause right now, and then we can continue if you want.
Sure.
Do you want to ask me any questions about that, or?
I mean, the only question I usually ask during boot camp is, was there anything unexpected that you didn't know was going to happen, or was there something inside of you that came out that was unexpected during boot camp?
Yeah, well, yeah, sort of. Yes. When you get there, they put you in this classroom for 3 days before you even start anything. It's like your in-doc period. I don't know if the Army boot camp does that, but like basically you're filling out forms. You're not sleeping. You're up all night. You're calling your parents good evening. This is Recruit Far. I have arrived safely at Paris Island. You will be receiving a piece of mail in about 3 weeks from me. Good night.
Mm-hmm.
And that was actually, that right there was kind of momentous for me, because I woke my father up, and him and my mom were living in Savannah, Georgia. We had moved from Exeter, New Hampshire to Savannah, Georgia, when I was a junior in high school. And then going forward, so I woke him up, and he's a doctor, he's a psychiatrist, and he works 12 hours a day. And I know he's tired, and he didn't even he said, okay. and then he went back to bed. But that was the last time I would ever speak to my father on this earthly plane.
Oh no. Sorry to hear.
Because 2 months later, he killed himself.
Oh shit.
He hung himself. He was not in his right mind. He was off. And he was going to get a divorce from my mother, and he already had another job. He had a job in Saratoga Springs, New York. So he left Savannah Memorial Medical Center, and he was there for 8 years. But then they were not treating him right, so he was looking for another job, and he found another job in Saratoga Springs, New York. And so we had our house in Savannah. We had a condo in Saratoga Springs. So he would be up there working, and Mom would be down in Savannah with me and my brother. And doing, I was in college, or I was doing something else. Matthew was in college, my brother. And so, yeah. Dad took his own life. Dad took his own life. Second month of boot camp, I was on the rifle range. I got a call from well, I didn't get a call. My senior drill instructor told me to go up and see the big guy. I was like, okay. So you knock on the hatch. This is Recruit Far, reporting for duty, sir. I walk in, and there's my senior drill on this side. There's a chaplain in the corner, and I already know what's going on. I was like, oh shit, What happened? Who died?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, well, we're sorry to say your father passed away. And you're gonna get a phone call home, and then you're gonna go to the funeral. And so they let me go to the funeral. Navy Relief paid for my ticket up to Saratoga Springs. I was the first kid to wear my Charlies, or the khaki shirt, short sleeve, with the green pants and the green cover. And then I had one ribbon, the National Defense ribbon. Mm-hmm. And I hadn't even qualified with my rifle. So
Wow.
I didn't even have a rifle badge at that time. So I mean, I looked terrible. I was like, but I was 100 and, God, I think I was 197 pounds. So I was 250 when I went in. So by that time, I was probably about 197, 198 pounds. I was emaciated. My mom was like, "What's wrong with you? Are they feeding you?" I'm like, back straight, eyes
Mm-hmm.
front, ears open,
Yep.
left hand on left knee, right hand on right knee.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom's like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "Nothing, ma'am." And I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm still like,
Right.
I'm still in like boot camp mode. And then she, like, after the funeral, she even takes me to a psychiatrist. And I'm
Wow.
like sitting like this, all in uniform, and I'm like answering his questions like a boot camper, like I'm like
Mm-hmm.
indoctrinated,
Right.
like a robot. And even the psychiatrist was saying to my mom, I hear it when I left the room. He was like, "What's wrong with your son?"
Nice.
So yeah, I mean that was hard when Dad died. But I went back to boot camp, finished. But that was pretty. That was a big. That was one of the biggest things that happened during boot camp.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I didn't mind the running, I didn't mind the food, I didn't mind the, because I was a fraternity guy. Like we got hazed. I mean, not to the extent. I mean, the hazing in Paris Island, way, way worse. But I
Yeah.
mean, I was used to it. I had seen it before. Like, I mean, I never got like my ass smacked with a paddle,
Mm-hmm.
like you see in Animal House or all the fraternity movies. But we did have to do stupid shit. Like I had to dress and drag. I had to go get I had to go hold hands with another fraternity brother in front of this club, um, and get a picture. We had to count railroad ties all the way back to Orlando to Winter Park.
Wow.
We got left in the middle of a field in Kissimmee. Like they dropped us off, and you had to find our way back. Like that's like straight out of like boot camp right
Yeah.
there. I
Some
don't know
land
where they
off.
got it from because none of those guys ever served. Like I'm pretty much like I think there's only like 5 guys in the fraternity that actually served. Like
Wow.
I'm in the Order of the Shield, which is the Teak alumni, the Tau Kappa Epsilon fraternity members that actually served our country. We call it Order of the Shield, and I'm a member of that, and I didn't even know about that until way after I got out. But
Mm.
yeah, that was boot camp.
Nice.
And then had a month off, got 10 days leave, and then 30 days of recruiting assistance. So I went back to Savannah. Went to I went to the mall pretty much every day. Nobody joined the Marine Corps through me.
Oh
All right,
wow.
so I didn't get anybody to join up. So I was like, yeah, whatever. And then I got my orders, and they're like, you have to report to School of Infantry, Camp Geiger, in October. And I was like, okay, good to go. So I take my car because I'm allowed to drive now because obviously in boot camp you can't drive, can't go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I drive up to Camp Geiger, North Carolina. It was either me or no, I didn't drive. I'm sorry, I lied. No, I went with my mom. She dropped me off because I didn't have a car at the time. I got a car later, and that's the next juncture where I got a car. So yeah, my mom drove me up, dropped me off. I'm in my greens. I'm in my service offices. I've got my my hunt cap and
Mm-hmm.
um, I'm wearing my green coat, my green pants, with the belt, that thing,
Yep.
it's not as nice as the regular the dress blue
Mm-hmm.
uniform. That's
That is
that's the
sharp.
nice one.
That is sharp.
The
Yeah.
green one, the service uniforms are terrible. I hate them. I hated them. And so I reported in to I think a captain or something. And then he's like, well, we don't have a spot for you, so you're going to be on Camp Geiger for the next 2 weeks. I'm like, before you get picked up. And I'm like, okay. So it was called the holding platoon. So basically, I was on guard duty.
Hmm.
Like we did camp guard.
Oh wow.
And it wasn't the camp. We guarded one building and it was a brick building. I mean, it was tiny, and there was a gate around it, and we would walk around the gate, and that would be 8 hours.
Ooh, jeez.
So we do 8 hours on, 16 off, and so we did that for 2 weeks straight, and then I finally got a boat space in Delta Company.
Are you enjoying these stories of veterans totally rocking it with sobriety? Here at This Sober Vet podcast, we want to keep bringing these warriors' tales of triumphs to you. However, we need your help to make that happen. We're in need of sponsors for This Sober Vet podcast. That's right, now's the time to show your support, advertise your brand, or just make a monetary donation. It's easy. Just go to our website, www.thissobervet.com. To become a sponsor, fill out the form on our contact page. To donate, just click on Support the Mission. Let's keep shining a light for those still in the dark.
And then I started doing 0311 stuff, like rifleman stuff. That's the first month. The second month is basically, I'm an 0331, so my second month was learning how to be a machine gunner. So the first month you learn basic infantry stuff. The second month for infantry, you learn, I learned my machine gun stuff, 240 Gulf, Mark 19, 50 cal.
Okay.
And then gas mask and swim qual and hand and arm signals, column formation, wedge, squad leaders up, contact front, contact rear, echelon front, like all that stuff. And then land nav, which I'm really good at day land nav. I am terrible at night land nav.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible. I got lost. I got lost a couple times, but I passed. I did. And then, that was October to December 17th, 2004. I remember that date because we graduated and then we got onto a bus and it took us 5 miles down the road to a little place called Camp Lejeune.
Oh.
And so I was attached to 3rd Battalion, 8th Marines, India Company. We had 14, 15 guys maybe more, 17 guys that came with us. So we had machine gunners, we had 11s, we had 41s, we had 31s, we had 51s, and we had 152 in our group, and that's the tow gunner, 0352. Now, for you guys at home, 03 is the infantry designation. 31, 41, 51, and 52, those are your MOSs, like mortarman, 41, 31 is machine gunner, 51 is assaultman, 52 is tow gunner. 0311 is your basic infantry rifleman. And then you've got 0317, 0321, but those guys are like scout snipers and recon guys. I could not get there because I didn't have the GT score. My GT was 105. To be a scout sniper, I think I needed a 110, and so I would have to retake the ASVAB, and there was no way in hell I was taking that test again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but we didn't have time. We were deployed. I mean, we got to 3-8. 2 weeks later, we were in Iraq. We were in Karma.
Okay.
We were at Camp Delta, and Karma is right outside the city of Fallujah. It's right outside Camp Fallujah, which is probably about 20 minutes from the actual town of Fallujah. So we got there and we did post and patrol, and we lost 8 guys that deployment. We were there for probably about 6 months, from January 05 to August 05. Came home, or maybe September 05. I don't know. I mean, my memory is starting to go. And it's funny, I just looked this up. Like, having PTSD really fucks with your brain.
Yeah, totally.
Really, like memory loss. And like, I was talking to another person, and they're like, yeah, memory loss is a joke. I'm like, and then I had to give her the thing. I was like, well, this is what my doctor said, and I believe this. Like, the hippocampus in our brain gets messed up. And so we start forgetting simple stuff. And like, I forget stuff all the time now. Like, it's getting really bad, but I digress. We did that first deployment. That was rough. I Alcohol was involved in that first deployment.
Really? You were drinking
I,
over there? How'd you get that?
oh yeah, I had somebody, and I'm not going to say who.
Okay.
Somebody sent me a Listerine bottle, and this is not a meme. This is not a joke. This is actually something that I ordered and happened to come upon because it was sent to me. But I had a friend send me a Listerine bottle filled with Jack Daniels.
Mm.
It looks exactly the same. And me and 3 other buddies got drunk as hell. We did. But we were good. We were fine. Me and another buddy, and I'm not going to mention his name because he doesn't want, he's a vice president of an organization, a 501c3, and he does not want his name mentioned. But me and him, and I went to boot camp with this guy. Like we both went to 3A together. And I don't know. I mean, I'm telling this story. I'm giving hints, and they could probably figure it out. But my 3A guys can figure it out, but nobody else can. So, like me and I, we're walking to the chow hall, and we're walking to the MWR. We're on break. We're on like a weekend break, and we want to call our significant others or our family or whatever, or go get a haircut or go buy some Haji videos or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're walking in Camp Fallujah. And, this car comes up to us, and we're walking like I got my saw, he's got his M16, and we're walking and talking. This car comes up and pulls up, and he's like, "Hey, Marines, you want to ride?" And lo and behold, guess who it is? The battalion commander and the battalion sergeant major.
Ooh, what's up with that?
Driving a car, picking us up, seeing if we wanted to ride, because it wasn't that far. But they just wanted to give us a ride. I don't know why. And we had just finished drinking my Listerine.
Ooh.
So we're in the car with them, and we're not saying shit. We don't want to say anything because we don't. Yeah. But I know he can smell it. I know. Oh, so we get out, and they're like, hey, Marines, have a good day. And we both salute him. Like, see you, sir. Hoorah, Sergeant Major. Take it easy. So then we go to the MWR, and we do our stuff, whatever. We make the phone calls. And then he goes back to Lima Company, and I'm with India. So I'm like, no, I'm going to stay. And so I go where the Pogues are hanging out, like, all the non-grunt people. Mm-hmm. So like the radio guys, the logistics, the admin people, all of them. I go to their encampment. Every one of them has a bottle of booze. They are getting hammered.
Really? Wow. Okay.
And so they're like, I'm like, all right, let's go. And I start drinking. And I was like, I'm drunk. And I'm like, you know what? I miss my ex-wife, which my first wife. She's now my ex-wife, so I'm gonna call her my ex-wife. I miss my wife. I wanna call her. I wanna see her. I think we were just getting into like Skype or some shit like that.
Right.
Yeah. So I go back there, and I'm sitting down. Like before I go to the MWR, I go in, I talk to my wife. I come out, and I sit down on a Jersey barrier, because it's Jersey barrier is right outside, like it's lining around the MWR. So I sit down, and I think at this time I've got my M16. I don't have the saw now. I just have my M16 right here, and I'm holding it in between my legs, and I'm just like, I'm fixing something. I pass the fuck out. I'm going like this. And I'm like this. No, seriously. I'm not like this on the Jersey barrier. Mm-hmm. And guess somebody wakes me up, and the only thing I see are 2 gold Oakleys standing over me.
Oh, shit.
And immediately out of my mouth, he's like, what's wrong? I'm dehydrated, sir.
Drink water.
Well, he's like, you better get to, and he knew I was drunk. He's like, here, you're going to medical. You're going to BAH. You're going to BAS, Battalion Aid Station. Mm-hmm. And so they put like some, IVs, some saline in me. And then I don't know how I don't know. He found out my platoon sergeant, Staff Sergeant Hill, comes over. I mean, he's fucking pissed. Oof. And he's like, he comes in, he starts yelling at me. He's like, "Far, what the fuck are you going on?" And so I stay there the night. And and I wake up the next morning, And it's just a shitstorm after that. Like everybody from the battalion commander to the most senior E3, because I had just picked up E3
Wow.
like 2 days before.
Oof, jeez.
And so everybody from the top down, they give me a piece of their mind. I get kicked out of my platoon. I go to headquarters platoon. So now I am doing convoys for like the main element. So whenever first sergeant or whenever the captain or whenever anybody has a meeting to go to at Camp Fallujah, I'm there. But it's also me and all the mortarmen. So me and all the mortarmen, we're all part of H&S platoon. And so I showed my ass to second platoon, and they were like, "You're gone. You're done. We can't trust you. You got to go." And I'm 26 years old, 27 at the time, and I've got these younger guys, these squad leaders. I'm older than them by 4 years, and these squad leaders, they're telling me like, "We've got a private here that's got more backbone than you, and you've been to college." They let it go.
That's tough.
They turned it on. They were terrible. And I went to headquarters. We did like 1,000 convoys, and we got a SIRCOM for that, but I was also busted down. I had a battalion level NJP, so I had to go in front of the battalion commander. And he busted me down back to E2. So I was E2, then I got E3, then I was back to E2 again. And so, that was it for the rest of the deployment. And then we came home, and, I picked up E3, Lance Corporal, because I had another gunny that went to bat for me. And he was good. And he was like, "Hey, this guy's been working." Like, I was cleaning porta shitters. I was doing all this extra work, extra post, extra patrols, cleaning porta shitters, which, by the way, is not as glamorous as it sounds.
Not at all.
It's
Especially
fucking
in that
horrible.
heat. Oof. Yeah, those are tough.
It's like right out of Jarhead. Except for the oil cans, we actually had porta potties, which I had to clean. Which I cleaned all of the porta potties at Camp Fallujah in 2005.
Oof.
They were immaculate. You could eat in those porta shitters. Okay, nice. They were so nice. But yeah, and then we got back, and I got my E3 back, and then we were gearing up for another deployment. We are gearing up for we go on leave. We come back from Carmel. We go on leave, and we go on leave, and then we find out that we're going back to Iraq. We're going to Ramadi.
Okay.
And Ramadi is a terrible, terrible place. Ramadi, I mean, the first battle of Ramadi was bad. The second one, we got there in March of 2006. And Time Magazine deemed Ramadi the most dangerous city in the world.
Jeez.
We lost 17 guys, of whom I just did a color guard for. On Memorial Day, but they were a part of that detail because I was remembering them. And it was just rough. I was a better Marine though. I did my duty. I learned from my mentors. I was 186 pounds. I was doing 30 pull-ups. I was running like 5 miles a day. I like to compare myself to Rudy Reyes, but I wasn't as badass as Rudy Reyes. Nice. I was working out like him. I wasn't in mop gear and shit like that, but I was working hard. I was running, I would go on patrol, and we had like a 12-day rotation in the city of Ramadi. And on my when I was out in the city, I couldn't run, but we'd go on patrol. Come back, I clean my weapon for 2 hours. Then I'd go up to our makeshift gym for 2 or 3 hours, and I would just get huge.
Nice. And
then we do our 12-day rotation. And when we got back for haircuts and shaving and all that kind of stuff, Then I would go to the gym, to the MWR, and I would run. I would run all the time. Like for 3 days straight, I would do 5, 10. I would do 15 miles in 3 days just
Wow.
on the treadmill.
Wow.
And
Nice.
the MWR even gave me a certificate for doing 1,000 miles.
Damn. Wow.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know where it is. I think I threw it away. I have no idea where it is.
Nice. While you're there, any like firefights you want to talk about? Any like crazy shit happen that you would just kind of want to bring up just to air out, or?
We had a lot of crazy shit happen. It was very, we had to be very dynamic and resolute, and we had to be malleable and resilient. Because we didn't know when we were going. There was always QRF. There was always something going on. We were always getting fired on. We're out in the city. When we're out there, we're doing patrols. We're doing like 3 a day.
Wow.
We're doing we're doing a morning patrol. We're doing an afternoon patrol. We're doing an afternoon patrol, a morning patrol. It's just, they kept us, we had that city on lock. And it was scary. I should have died. I got my Purple Heart. Now in my bio, I'm mistaken and this is how my memory is like being weird. I thought I got my Purple Heart in July. Like July 27th.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't, because I actually found my Purple Heart warrant, and it says June 29th, 2006.
Oh, wow.
And I hadn't seen it in, at least 12 to 15 years. I hadn't seen it in 12 years.
Jeez.
And I found it at my mom's house. And I'm like, oh, I found my Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medal. I found my Purple Heart. I found all kinds of stuff. I'm like, wow. Because my brain was telling me that I had gotten the Purple Heart in July, when that was not the case at all.
Wow. PTSD.
And so it made me feel better to get the warrant, because I thought I had lost it. And I thought I was going to have to, sorry, I'm getting a chair. I thought I was going to have to, talk to the Marine Corps people and be like, hey, I need another Purple Heart.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where my warrant is. And, that was probably going to take 6 years to get that, with the way they work. But apparently they work better now. But I found it, and I just, now everything about it, we were on patrol. Everything else is fine. It's just I got the date wrong. I guess I had pushed it out of my memory, or we're going to have to talk about the alcohol, because alcohol is it's a depressant, and
it
you
destroys your brain.
Yeah, you forget a lot of stuff.
Absolutely. So yeah, let's jump into that. So once you got back, were you drinking on this deployment, or you were just staying with the healthy?
No. This deployment, I did not drink.
Okay.
I waited until I got home.
Okay.
And then we partied like it was 1999.
I'm sure. Absolutely. I remember coming back home and getting white girl wasted. Absolutely.
Yeah. And we weren't done yet. We went home, we went on leave, and then we came back, and then they're like, hey, you're going on a MEU, MEU, which you said it's pronounced MEU, Marine Expeditionary Unit. So you got us Marines, we were the Helo squad on the USS Kearsarge. So we would fast rope out of 46s, 53s.
Really cool.
They had Harriers. We were on not a big, we weren't on like a big carrier. We were on like a WASP class, like a smaller, 3,000 souls aboard. We didn't have, the big carriers have 5,000. We had 3,000. So we had, we had the AAVs, we had the Helo squad, we had the ground squad, and then we had the actual MEU element, was on the Kearsarge. But we also traveled with the USS Gunston Hall and the USS Ponce de Leon.
Oh, cool.
So that was called the Amphib Squad. It was Amphib 6. And so we left in July, of 2007, after doing all the workups. So with the workups, you go to 29 Palms, you go to New River, you got Cherry Point, you learn, you do shooting, you do fast roping, you do heat training, hearse training, like tying knots and fast roping. You learn how to get out of a Humvee that's been overturned in the water.
Yep.
If you learn, you go to the dunk tank. Like we went to the dunk tank in Norfolk Naval Base. So you get in this contraption, and you first they're like, okay, this is what it feels like. So you've got this hose of oxygen, and you're turned upside down.
Wow.
And you basically, you get out, and that's just, getting yourself, what's the word? You're okay with that. You're okay with the water and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then it moves to the helo dunker. So they stick us in this chassis of a helo, and then it gets dunked into a pool. You are strapped in, and you have to get out. Now, the first time you do it, you're fine. You're strapped in. You got to get out. You go through the hatch, or hand over hand, or you go through a window, hatch, whatever's open. Second time, they drop you and then flip you over.
Jeez.
And so then you have to get out, and then you have to get out. You have to get out again.
Wow.
Don't worry, they have divers in the water just in case somebody can't get out or somebody is having a hard time. They will help us out. Third time, blacked out goggles, they dunk you, then they flip you. So then it's basically, it's like nighttime.
Wow.
So and I cheated. I kept my goggles halfway up so I could see a little bit. Because one, I have a fear of drowning. I really do.
Uh-huh.
I have a big fear of drowning. Even though I'm a rescue diver and I love to scuba dive. I love it more than life itself, but I have a fear of drowning. I really do.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, they teach us all this stuff, and then we go on the 22nd MEU. Where we leave out of Onslow Bay, July of 2007, and we are on that ship for about 7 months till January 2008. We go to, 12 different countries. We go to Rota, Spain. We go to Dubai. We go to Israel. We go to Turkey.
Wow.
Go to Bangladesh. We go to Malta. We go to Suda Bay, Greece. And we don't go to the Seychelles, but we went near it. And that's where we got our, we crossed the equator.
Okay.
So, in the Navy, the tradition is when your ship crosses the equator, that's when they do the shellback ceremony.
I'm not familiar.
So
What's that?
it's a big naval tradition. It's been going on forever. I don't know, maybe 200 years at least. I don't know the history of the shellback. I have to do my research on that. But it's basically you take all these oaths to Neptune and King Neptune. And it's like you're a polywog. And so I was like green on green, and then you have to make a little tail that's coming out of your shorts because you're a polywog. And so they make you duck walk all along the ship over knee knockers. It's basically just a big haze fest.
Nice.
I wish I could send you pictures. Sit up, touch your toes on the deck, like all 900 of us. We're on the deck. And we're in the middle of the ocean, and we're getting hazed by these guys dressed up as pirates.
Nice.
So all the guys are dressed up like pirates because it's a naval thing. It's a naval tradition. And they've got the equator, they've got the golden shellback, they've got the shellback, they've got the blue nose, and they've got there are all these names. Like blue nose is up in the north, like up in the north, like cold water.
Okay.
And then there's one where you are crossing the equator in the prime meridian, and you get hazed for that too. So all these shellbacks are hazing the polywogs. So polywogs, we haven't gone through the ceremony yet. We're going through it.
Okay.
So at the end, we've got my company commander, and he is playing King Neptune.
Nice.
And he has this decree So after we go through the whole shit, like we have to eat green eggs and ham on the mess deck on our face.
Nice.
Like if you go on my Facebook, man, you will see. You go down to the Mew pictures, you will see the whole shellback ceremony.
Okay.
You're gonna love it. It's awesome. Like they made me swab the deck. I'm in my green on greens, and I'm like singing and swabbing the deck at the same time. Like you'll see that picture.
That's awesome.
It's like
Nice.
it's a great haze fest. It really is. It's way better than when I first got to 3/8, and that was harsh hazing.
Yeah.
This is not so bad. This is fun hazing.
Right. Nice.
But yeah, and so we crossed the equator, and he read the decree, and we all became shellbacks. Yeah, I mean, shellback it's a badge of honor.
Mm-hmm.
I actually just talked to a Navy chief today who was attached to Marines, and I had him on my we had him on my podcast. God, like I don't know, a year ago, and he's down in Alabama, and I'm actually sending him and his wife to my timeshare in Panama City, Florida,
cool.
for him and his kid to have like a fun week. But I just talked to him, and like, you know, he's a Navy chief, and I'm like, dude, so are you a shellback? And he's like, no, I never went on ship at all.
Wow.
I mean, he was on ship for 20 days, but they didn't, you know, that was Oconus. That was Conus.
Mm-hmm.
That was in the continental United States.
Right.
You got to go, you know, down to South America to cross the equator. So he never did. So he's a polywalk. He's a Navy chief who's been in 20 plus years, and the longest he's been on a ship is 20 days.
That's wild.
That's weird to me.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, it's cool, but he's also a corpsman. So he's attached to Marines. Mm-hmm. So and I love him to death because I love corpsmen. I love medics and corpsmen. Like anybody that's taking care of the soldiers or sailors or Marines or whatever, those guys, I will go up across the room and I find out he's a doc, I will go hug him. I don't even know him, but I'll do that.
Uh-huh.
I don't even care.
So after
I mean, and then after that, it's really easy. Because then after that, I had about, you know, we got back January 2008, and I just had 4 months to go before I took terminal leave.
Okay. So you did your initial enlistment, then got out.
Yeah. And that was I just did 4 years.
Yep.
And that was it from 04 to 08. And I mean, my first sergeant wanted me to re-enlist. Like he kept asking until the last day. And I'm like, first sergeant, no, here's my CAT card. See you later. Right. I'm out of here. And then I got in my car my Honda Accord, which I had gotten after my first deployment. My mom gave me her old Honda Accord, or my dad's old Honda Accord, because he had passed away and obviously he wasn't using it. Mm-hmm. So she gave me that. So I hopped into my Honda and I kissed Camp Lejeune goodbye. June 20th, 2008 was my last day at Camp Lejeune.
Nice. So then what was next? What was your journey?
Huh?
What was next after that?
After that, I went back to Savannah, continued drinking. My mom I remember one day when I got back home and I wasn't doing anything. I didn't have any prospects. I wasn't even I was so new getting out. My mom, she was very nice. She gave me some time to defrag, but my defragging consisted of going to the closest BP and buying alcohol, a 6-pack at a time. Right. Like I'd go in the morning, buy one, finish it, go back again. And I do it like 3 or 4 times. And after a couple of days, my mom was like, yeah, Andrew, you're drinking a lot. I'm like, yeah, I am. What of it? Like, what do you want from me, Mom? Yeah, I mean, the Marine Corps, they kind of teach us how to drink, and we can handle it. Yeah. Well, 2009 was not the year for me to handle my alcohol. That was my first DUI in Savannah, Georgia. Oof. I'd gone to, I left home, I went to a fraternity party in Statesboro, Georgia, where Georgia Southern University is. And I found out that they had a teak chapter there. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to get free booze because I'm a brother. I'm not going to have to pay for it. So I go up there. And yeah, it's I drink, I get hammered, I get in the car, go back home. It's 54 miles.
Wow.
From Savannah to Statesboro, or maybe a little bit. You know, it's like 40 to 50 miles.
Mm-hmm.
It's where Fort Stewart is.
Okay.
So Third ID is where Savannah, and yeah. Gotcha. So I mean, to get you kind of like your bearings.
Tracking.
I mean, Fort Stewart's huge base. I mean, basically, you go from Richmond Hill, Savannah, Statesboro. That's the entire length of Fort Stewart.
Jesus.
It's fucking huge.
That is huge.
Like, we don't have Marines. We don't have bases that big. They're not that big.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they don't take up 2 counties. Bullock, no, that's 3. That's Effingham County, Chatham County, and Bullock County.
Jeez.
3 counties where Fort Stewart is. It's fucking crazy. We have 1 county where Camp Lejeune is. One county.
Right.
But yeah, I drove back home, and I went to Crystals. You know, you've heard of Crystals, right?
Mm-mm.
They're little. It's like White Castle, but Southern style.
Oh, really? Okay. No, I've never heard
So
of
it's
that.
like the little hamburgers.
The little burgers. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. And so I stop at Crystals and I get a 20-pack and 2 fries.
Nice.
Because I'm starving, and I get and I get a big Coke, and so I'm drinking. I'm eating all this stuff in their parking lot. And then I'm like, okay, well, I'm like 7 minutes from home. I'm like, no, 15 minutes tops. Like, I go across Moon River, go to the landing, Skidaway Island. That's where the house was. And so I'm like, oh yeah, this is a piece of cake, no problem. Well, spoke too soon. So I get in the car, I take a right on Abercorn Street, and I'm going along. And then I take a left. I take a left on Mall Boulevard, because I got to get to another road that takes me to Diamond Parkway. That will take me all the way home. That's a straight shot right there. If you know Savannah, sorry. I know these guys don't know Savannah at all. I lived there 17 years. I'm talking like everybody knows Savannah. But
you're good, brother.
Guess what? You should know Savannah, because it is a beautiful city.
Is it? But
so I take a hard left. And what happens? My fries go everywhere. And I'm like, oh my God, no. It's my fries. So they're really, really good. And so I'm like leaning over, getting my fry. Mm-hmm. And the car starts going this way. Bam, bam. Pops my driver's side, my passenger side front wheel, ooh. My passenger side back wheel.
Oh, shit. The 2 for
so pops both of them, both tires. So I'm like, oh shit. So I'm like, damn, and I'm like on the side of the road, but I see up ahead of me, I see blue lights. And I'm like, oh my God, that's a police car. Those guys will help me out. Oh. So I drive on the busted rims. Oh, there's better. Sparks going everywhere. Nice. And I go and I plop my fucking car right behind the cops. Jeez. And they're like, they look at me and they're like, what the fuck is this guy doing? So they come up and they're like, hey, you okay? I'm like, well, I came over here because I needed help, because I popped my 2 tires and I was wondering if you could help me. And they're like, sir, have you been drinking? And I'm like, yeah. I said, yeah. I was like, yeah, I've been drinking a little bit. I'm 30 years old at the time. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah, I just came from a fraternity party up in Statesboro, but that was like 2 hours ago. So, I think I'm okay. And they're like, okay, well, can you get out? You're gonna do the test. Yeah. And I'm like, test? You mean the DUI test? Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. So I do it.
How'd you do on that? You failed. Okay.
Miserably. Then they wanted me to do they wanted me to do the alphabet backwards. And I'm like,
I can't do that sober. Yeah.
I can't even do it sober. No. Like Z, X, W, Y. Like, is, oh yeah,
ZYX.
ZYXW.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, you have to
Right,
think of it.
right.
I couldn't do it. Failed miserably. So they're like, they put me in handcuffs. They took me to Chatham County Jail, which is it's not the first time in this story that I've been going that I will go to Chatham County Jail. This is my first of two. So, yeah, it was bad. And then, I just gotten paid. I just gotten my, I had just gotten, oh yeah, because I sold back all of my leave. So I sold back 30 days that I had left. And so they gave me like $2,000. So with that money, I actually bailed myself out, which I didn't even know you could do, but I guess you could.
Wow.
I bailed myself out. I gave them, I was like, here's a check for $2,000. It's, it's good. I just got paid. And I, boom, left. But I still had a DUI. I still had to go to the vehicle impact panel. I had to do community service. So I euthanized cats in Savannah.
Really?
That was a horrible job.
Geez, sounds like it. That's so random.
I had to clean up their litter boxes, and I had to euthanize. So it's terrible. Got through that. DUI still on my record, because that will work into the later story. But yeah, and then my mom's like, "Hey, you need purpose. You need something. You need to stop drinking as much." She actually said as much, which was crazy, because now she's like, "I'm so glad that you stopped drinking. Like, I wish you had just stopped altogether." But I'm like, "Mom, you never said that to me." But yeah, and then I went back to school. She's like, you need to get an MBA. I'm like, okay, sure. So I went to Georgia Southern University. I got in and I went for a year, hated it. I was not ready for these kids, these children.
Yeah.
And
you're
I wanted
30 plus now. Yeah.
I wanted to throw all of these kids in a plate glass window. And so I was like, you know what? That's it. I'm done. I'm going to do this online. I'm going to do this on my time. And at that point, the VA was not paying for online school. So this was 2009. Yeah. So I had to get a FAFSA loan. So it was like $32,000 to get my MBA. I did it in a year and a half. So from 2009 to actually it's probably, it was 2009. Maybe it was a year. I don't know. I got it December 10th, 2010. I got my MBA. I graduated with a 3.5.
That's awesome. Very cool.
I did. Yeah, I did great. I failed 2 classes, but I got to redo them. They were really, really hard. I'm not much of a math guy, if you can tell. I'm more of an English, history, language kind of a guy. That's how my brain works. I'm not a math guy at all. So I got my MBA. And then from there, I was like, well, shit. Okay, well, now I have to go get a job. And so I did. I looked at jobs, and I found a job in Jacksonville, Florida for Blue Cross Blue Shield. So I got an MBA in healthcare administration. So that's what my mom, she hinted something, and it just kind of stuck. And so then I moved from Savannah, Georgia to Jacksonville, Florida. And I lived there for about a year and a half. I was with Blue Cross Blue Shield for probably about 6 months. And I was a new hire. So I went through the training, and then they gave us this holding period where you would work and get paid, but you weren't part of the company yet. You were still on a trial basis. So after 6 months, they give me my walking papers. I think I don't know what I did. Maybe I was doing benefits and stuff like that. So I was talking to a lot of customers. I think I might have looked up a friend of mine on the super secret healthcare stuff.
And that's a big no.
And I think they found out about it. But they didn't tell me, because they fired me, but they didn't give me a reason why. I asked, and they're like, well, you're 6 months. We don't have to have a reason to fire you. We can just fire you whenever. I was like, well, that sucks.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for 6 months. So immediately went to my favorite watering hole, the Salty River Sports Bar and Grill on Atlantic Boulevard in Jacksonville. It's not there anymore, by the way, if you're looking it up. It's not. So I got two big things of oysters and a shit ton of beer, and I just drowned my sorrows.
Uh-huh.
And for like 3 days, I would go back to that place because it was cool. It was a nice place. And I knew I was starting to get to know, I don't know, maybe in my mind I was starting to work something. But I was getting to know the owner. He's a Lebanese guy, really great. And I was like, and after the third day, I was like, hey, I can't remember his name. I really can't. I can't. I've been trying to think of it for like a week now, and I can't remember his name. But I'm like, hey, man, I will work for you. I will be a dishwasher for you for $150 a week. I will be this place's dishwasher for $150. I know. I lowballed the shit out of myself.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay. So, I started as a dishwasher. I did. And I would come in to the three sink this high every day. I'd get there filled with dishes, and I would get all of them done before dinner service. And then I tried to, catch up. So, I mean, I would be there from like 11 o'clock in the afternoon to like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
And then at 2 or 3 o'clock, we would have the whole place to ourselves. So we would fucking rage. We would party like crazy. And then, everything would be squared, and then we go, and then we do it again. Yeah. And I did that for, about a year, wow. I think. Okay. Yeah, at least. So joined my first American Legion.
Were you living with your mom at this time? Because how'd you afford to live off $150 a week?
Oh, yes, because I had started getting disability.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay.
So I was making I was getting 40% disability in 2009.
Okay.
So I went in and I was going to all these doctors, and they rated me at 40. And so that's probably like, it was probably like I think it was back then it was like $500.
Okay.
And so 500 plus 150, I could afford a very, 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 very cheap trailer or some kind of shelter.
Right.
And I'd eat at the restaurant, I'd drink at the restaurant, and I had enough to pay my rent and gas.
Okay.
Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. And then after that, what happened after that? Oh, yeah. And then after that, I moved. I was getting tired of I was thinking that, I had a problem, sort of. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to move somewhere else and things will be better.
Mm-hmm.
And you've heard that before. Yeah, I know you have.
Plenty of times. Yeah.
Because if you move somewhere else, your problems aren't going to follow you.
Yeah.
Really?
Got him.
Yeah. I believed that for a long time. I really did.
Uh-huh.
But then I moved to Winter Haven, Florida, after that. And, I got another apartment, Salewinds Apartments. And then I was actually in there. I was teaching Taekwondo to kids in Lakeland, Florida, with because I was a first degree black belt. I had gotten that right after I'd gotten back from the Marine Corps, because I was a purple belt before I went to the Marine Corps, and then after I got out of the Marine Corps, I became a black belt. And so it was American Taekwondo Association, and I was helping him out as his assistant instructor. So he would pay me. I get my 40%. I could still live. It was fine. Life was good. I was doing. It was not that good because I was still drinking. I was poor. And when it's really bad when you drink Steel Reserve.
Ooh, Steel Reserve. I've been there. That is bad. Yes. Ooh.
3 of them got me drunk.
They do.
That's it.
Oh, yeah,
it only takes 3. That's it.
Potent. Yep.
And so, and Steel Reserve, and you guys probably know this, is wicked, wicked cheap, and it tastes disgusting.
Yeah. But after
It's
the
like
first
rat.
one, you're like, meh, you don't really taste it after
Yeah,
the first one.
The
Yeah.
first one is like rat gut, and then the third one tastes amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, and I was teaching Taekwondo, and I was just going around, and I had no prospects. I didn't know what I was doing. I took whatever came my way. I was like fighting to not be homeless.
Hmm.
And then after that, I got in real good with my the person that ran the apartment complex, and she's like, "Hey, I've got friends in Vero Beach, and I'm about to move there. Do you wanna come to Vero Beach and we'll just check it out?" And she was a little bit older than me, and I was like, "Yeah, sure, that sounds great." And so we went to Vero Beach. She moved, but that first day, I was still in Winter Haven, but she had moved. And so I went to visit her, and I checked it out. And then I just went job hunting. I got a really good gig at the Moorings Yacht and Country Club in Vero Beach, Florida.
Nice.
And they hired me on as a summer kind of like intern chef. And I learned the most important stuff of being a chef for on-the-job training. I didn't have a degree in chefing, but I had a great mentor who taught me how to cut, how to dice, how to mince, how to plate, how to make it look presentable. And then I got really good, and then they hired me on like full time,
nice,
as a full-time chef. And so I was, by that, when I was interning, I was like in between housing, so I was looking for places to live in Vero, but also I kind of left Sailwind's apartments. I left them, and I didn't. Yeah, that went on my credit report big time. So like I was paying, like I finished paying those guys off like 7 years ago.
Wow.
Like done. That's it. Done. So that's not on my credit report anymore. But then I moved to, but I left and I went to Vero and I got a new place to live. And I rented a room from somebody. And this guy, he was a Neil Diamond. He was a Neil Diamond singer. Like he looked like Neil Diamond, and he sang Neil Diamond like songs.
Okay.
Weird dude, but cool. I mean, weird but cool.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'm not really I like Neil Diamond, but I'm not like a huge fan.
Right.
And so, I lived there. I had a 1-bedroom, I had a sofa. It was nice, and I was cooking and I was learning how to be a good chef. And I still talk to my chef mentor. He still lives down there. He doesn't work for the Moorings anymore, but he's still doing his thing as a chef. And
nice.
So, I worked for them for probably about 2 years in Vero, and it was great. It was a lot of fun. And then the alcohol, the pattern emerged again.
Again, right.
I remember I was on shift working at the Moorings, and I remember hiding 2 bottles of wine in the walk-in.
Oh.
Yeah. And so, hey, chef, I need to go get some carrots and some celery from the walk-in. Mind if I go?
Yep.
And I'd be in the walk-in, and I'd be chugging the wine.
Yeah.
And I did it too much. I guess the alcohol got a hold of me, because I went back, and they're like, "Andrew, you can't work tonight. You look terrible. You're slurring your speech."
Mm.
And they're like, "Yeah, you're going home." And I'm like, "Okay." So I went home, came back. They reprimanded me. And then I did it again. And then I quit. And then I was like, "Hey, listen, I got to go. I'm sorry, I quit." And so I quit that because of my drinking. I didn't get fired.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to, but I quit before I got fired.
Wow.
And then the next thing, you're never going to believe that I did this, but I did.
What's that?
And then after this, things start getting normal after this one episode, after this.
Okay.
So then it's not as long. So people can't be bored of my story. But then I had the brilliant drunk idea. Hey, I make like $500 a month. My best friend has a hotel business in Honduras, in Utila. And the average Utilian makes $250 a month. I make double that. I can live like a damn king.
Jeez.
So what I do, I think I'm going to live there. I didn't do any research. I buy the ticket, right? I show up to the airport in Miami. I'm like, done. I'm going to Honduras. And I did skip one. I did skip a one story, but I'm not going to tell that story. It's really bad. And, I've already done so many bad things. You really don't need to hear another bad thing that I've done.
You're good.
But I go to Miami, and I'm ready to go to Shangri-La, to Utila, which, by the way, if you guys ever get a chance, Honduras is, Tegucigalpa and the mainland is dangerous. Muy peligroso. Muy. But if you go to Roatan, Utila, or the other island, beautiful.
Okay.
So laid back. It's chill. People don't even wear shoes. Like, I was wearing board shorts and shoes. And barefoot the whole time. It's awesome.
Nice.
But that's getting ahead of myself. So I go to Miami. And I'm thinking, I'm like, all right, I'm going to get on a plane. I'm going to go to Grand Cayman. I'm going to fly to Grand Cayman. And then I stop there. And then I'm going to go to La Ceiba, which is right on the mainland, and then take a ferry to Utila, like a 2-hour boat ride north.
Wow. But
I get to the airport, and they're like, yeah, where's your return ticket? I'm like, what return ticket? I don't need one. I'm going to live there. They're like, oh, no. Oh, no, sir. You have to have a return ticket. You're an American. You don't have any paperwork to go there. You can't do it. And I'm like, you can stay for 30 days, but you have to come home. You have to leave that island after 30 days. And I'm like, really? And I'm like, shit, I should have researched that. Probably would have saved me some money, because I bought my ticket the month before. So I got, I had so 2 months before I bought it. So I had $1,200 to my name going to Miami. They're like, hey, you need to buy a return ticket. I'm like, shit, really? Damn. So I used half of the money that I've saved up, which is like I have $500 after I pay for the return ticket.
Jeez. So
now I have $500 to my name, going to Honduras, stopping in Grand Cayman, getting a drink, going to La Ceiba, getting a drink, getting on and paying for the ferry to go to Utila. Now I'm at like $350. And it's the first of November. So it's right after the 1st of November. So I had already gotten paid. So my money was already spent. So I had to live for a month on $250.
Damn.
As an alcoholic. Dude, I got to Utila, I ran out of money in 2 weeks.
Jeez. Oof. So what'd you do?
I was cooking for my buddy's hotel. So I had a free place to stay, no problem. Sort of free. It was actually $14 a day. Yeah. I don't know if it's that same price, but it was a really good deal.
Yeah.
In 2015.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think they've raised their prices since then, but I was paying $14 a day, but they would take it out of my paycheck. And so I cooked for them for probably 2 weeks, and then I couldn't cook for them anymore because they were storing raw meat, raw hamburger, and raw cow right next to raw chicken.
Mm.
And you can't and I know as a chef, I'm like, you can't do that. They have to be separated on different shelves. Chicken's got to be all the way down in the bottom. Or whatever. They just can't be touching. And they were touching. It grossed me out. I'm like, listen, we have to change this whole kitchen scenario. They didn't want, like, the mother didn't want me doing that at all. She didn't want to change anything. And so I was like, you know what? Hey, man, I have a return ticket. I'm leaving December 1st. So, just let me stay here and I will, pay my dues. And I scrounged for money. I did whatever I could. I didn't sell my body or anything like that. Good. But I did whatever I could to make sure that I had at least 2 or 3 drinks a day, because I had to keep at bay a little bit. Yeah, and I had and I had the place to stay, and I had to have money to pay Bush's mom, Arthur Bush. His mom owns the hotel, to pay her when I left. And so I did. Went home. Had to go home to Vero because my mom found out that I was in Honduras. I didn't tell her. Jeez. She was waiting for me in Vero Beach to pack all my shit up and come back to Tennessee. Wow. And I left out a bunch of stuff, but I was trying to get to, now in current situation. I did leave out a couple things, but they weren't really key. But they were, to my downfall. They helped with my downfall. But I left them out. I'm sorry, guys. If you want to hear about it, come to Tennessee. If you got 3 days, I can tell you the story. It's going to take that long.
So what's the aha moment? What made you finally quit for good?
It wasn't Honduras. It wasn't boarding school. It wasn't college. It wasn't the Marine Corps. The aha moment was my second DUI, which I got in 2018, July 31st, 2018. That was the last alcoholic drink I've had on this planet.
Awesome.
I drove home, and just like what everybody says, they're going to catch you 1 mile from home. Always do. Well, guess what? That morning, I had just gotten back from, we got married July 21st, 2018. We went on our honeymoon. I didn't drink at all on the honeymoon. But the whole courtship with my wife, I was sneaking alcohol every day. I was passed out on the couch every single day when she got home from work. And guess what I would say? Have you been drinking? And she'd be like, have you been drinking? I'm like, no, it's just cough. It's cough medicine. It's Listerine. I just brushed my teeth.
Yeah.
Did she believe that?
No.
No, but she's still stuck with me. She knew I had a problem, but she wanted to let me try to figure it out. Mm-hmm. Well, I wish you would have been a little harsher in the beginning. But she made up for it when I got my second DUI, because we just got back from our honeymoon. She goes to work. I start off the morning with a 6-pack of Angry Orchard. Yum, yum. We're in an apartment complex. We're not in the house that I'm in now. So we're at the apartment. I'm at the apartment complex. I drink. I'm calling all my buddies. I'm like, hey, man, how you doing, brother? And I'm out of booze. I go down the street. I go to Kroger. I get 2 bottles of wine. I like wine. I do. It gets me drunk really quick, or it used to. And so I finish those up real quick. I'm calling 127 people on the phone. I'm calling all my guys I served with. Hey, man, what's going on? How you doing? What's going on? Shut the fuck up, Far. Hey, man, come on, man. I'm just relaxing, man. Mm-hmm. We've all, all us veterans, we've all done it.
Absolutely.
All of us.
Yep.
We go through our Rolodex, which, by the way, I still have everybody's number on my phone.
Nice.
All of them.
Nice.
Or most of them. I've deleted a couple, but I have a good amount. And then I finish the wine, and I go, and I'm like, I'm not drunk enough. This is terrible. I'm not drunk enough. Where am I going to go? I know where I'm going to go. I'm going to go to my VFW because the booze is cheap. Yeah. And it's 11 miles away. And so I don't have to worry that much about cops.
Attention veteran entrepreneurs, we've got a special announcement just for you. Marathon Business Advisory Services is proud to present a unique opportunity, a J-Dog franchise, veteran-owned and ready for its next chapter. Whether you're looking to own your first business or grow through acquisition, this could be the perfect fit. And the best part, it's completely confidential, with no cost and no obligation to explore the opportunity. Just reach out to Jay Calandra at j.calandra@marathonbas.com to learn more. Support veteran success. Build your future. Let Marathon guide the way.
Yeah. That was mistake number like 4 or 5 right there. So I drive down. I'm fine. I'm driving down the road. I'm going the back way, so I don't like. There's hardly any cops because I do it all the time. I drink at the VFW all the time when I was. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was like $60. I'm going to tell you, $60 can get you loaded. Because the tall boys, the 16 ounces, $1.50.
Oh wow,
it's crazy.
Nice.
So I'm at the VFW and I spent $60, and I know it because it's in my I Am Sober app, because that's the average amount of money that I would spend on alcohol. It's about $60 a day. And I can't wait to tell you how much money I've saved since stop drinking.
Isn't it amazing? It's beautiful.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But I don't have nothing to show for it because I'm actually paying my bills. Right. Which I didn't do before, which is a weird concept for me. But yeah, nice. So I'm driving there. I get drunk. I fall off my stool 3 times at the VFW because I'm hammered drunk, wasted.
Damn.
The commander of the post is right across the way from me drinking. Like, he's watching me drink. I get up after the 3rd time I hit the deck from my stool, get up, brush myself off, get my keys out of my pocket, and start walking to the door. What does that guy do? What does that commander do? Nothing. Doesn't even say anything to me.
Jesus. Wow.
I'm not going to say his name, but he didn't say shit. He was like, hey, he wasn't like, hey, go sleep it off. Don't drive.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
He didn't say that. So I got in my car, and I make it. I almost make it. I mean, I'm going up College Drive, Old Murphy, shit. What the hell is it? It's old Smyrna. I can't remember it. It's the back roads. Mm-hmm. It's not Jefferson. That's the other back roads. It's like goes right up the middle. It goes right. It's like a beeline from Smyrna to Murfreesboro. And I'm going, I'm going south. And so I get to like right before I have to turn left onto the street. That's where my apartment is. Whoop, whoop. I hear it. It's in the back and I see it. And so I pull over, but I pull a Tommy boy. I pull over to the middle of the road.
Oh shit! Are you serious? So in the medium, you
in the Ruad.
Nice.
I pull over in the middle of the road, and I get out of the car, and I go like this. And I'm like, "Take me away, please."
Yeah. Like I give up.
And I was very compliant, and I spent 3 days in Nashville jail. Yeah, it was not good. Sorry, Rutherford County Jail. Sorry, not Nashville. Rutherford County Jail. And my phone dies, and so I can't call my wife. I don't have her. Okay, this is important for all you men out there. Remember to memorize your wife's phone number. Very important, because I did not have it memorized. So I had to call my bail bondsman in Murfreesboro to tell my wife that I'm in jail for a DUI and that she needs to come and get me.
Wow. Sure.
That did not go over well with my lovely wife, Katrina. She wrote me a 7-page note because she had no idea where I was. She thought I had left. She was crying. it was bad. And then she picked me up, got my car. When I got in my car, I looked in the rearview mirror, and she was crying and hitting her steering wheel. And it was not good.
No.
Not good at all. That was moment number one where I think I have a problem. And then moment number two was when I went to my mom's house in Swanee. She was like an hour from me. And I got down on my knees, and we're yelling and screaming, and I still got alcoholic brain. And I'm like, what do you want from me? And then I looked up and I was like, God, what do you want from me? So I was asking my mom and God at the same time. 2 weeks later, I'm in Veterans Treatment Court.
Okay. Yep. We have that around here too.
And it helped. I mean, it was 18 months, CBT, MRT. You meet with the judge every week. You journal.
Yep.
And you do group therapy at least 3 times a week. And you have your analysis whenever you're, because it's in different phases. So there's 5 phases. So whatever phase gets called, you call into this number. They tell you what phase. If you're that phase, then you go in and you piss in a cup.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was lucky because I didn't work. Like at this point in time, I was already 100%. And so it was really easy because I could go and, a lot of people, they had to work. Mm-hmm. Like they had to take time off their job and go in to pee and then go back to work. Me, I didn't have that. I was very lucky. My VSO really, really helped me to go from 40 because because in that whole journey, I went from 40 to 70, 40 appealed, 70 appealed, 90 appealed, got 100%. And then finally, I got 100% TDIU, total disabled individual unemployment. Nice. And I get Social Security. So I am not fit to work. I had 11 jobs one year. It was not good. And that wasn't, and I wasn't drinking.
Wow.
I'm angry actually, no, I still am. I get angry. Mm-hmm. But my brain, I had a scan of my brain, I think 2 years ago, and it's red. My whole brain is red. My synapses are firing at like 1 million times a minute.
Wow.
Like squirrel, yes. Forgetful, yes. Angry, irrational sometimes, yeah, a lot. Mm-hmm. And I've been trying really, really hard to work on myself, and I've gotten a lot better. I mean, 8 years ago, you wouldn't know who the hell I was 8 years ago. Wow. You wouldn't want to talk to me 8 years ago. Mm-hmm. But, after Veterans Treatment Court, things were good. We bought a house, and then I went to Save a Warrior in Hillsborough, Ohio, which is free for veterans and first responders. And it deals with complex PTSD. And they just built a $5 million center of excellence for PTS.
Wow.
And post-traumatic stress.
Okay.
And it's free for first responders and veterans. They also do women, for both women, veterans and women first responders. But that was founded by Jake Clark. He was an Army officer. He was FBI. He was Secret Service. He was LAPD. He founded this in California. He brought it to Ohio. It's on a 87-acre ranch.
Wow.
He only takes 10 people make a cohort. When he first was starting, it was only 10. Now he can do like 10, 20, 30. He can do like 3 or 4 cohorts at a time now because of that new building. But it basically brings you along the hero's journey, and it brings in a lot of modalities. And a lot of my guys, like Rob O'Neill, you know who Rob O'Neill is, right?
The name sounds very familiar.
The guy who allegedly shot Osama bin Laden.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's why. Okay, yep.
He went through the chairs at Save a Warrior.
Wow, very cool.
A lot of my 3A guys, at least 5 or 6, hard cases have gone through Save a Warrior.
Nice.
Like he has saved over 3,000 people, and help them deal with their PTS. Like right now, yeah, I'm angry. Yeah, I get angry from time, but it's not my main like motivation. Like now, my main motivation is my mental health, my serenity, and I use it in hand with AA. I still go to AA.
Nice.
I don't go every day. I do go once a week sometimes. Only if I need it. But right now, I don't obsess about alcohol. I used to. I mean, sometimes I just cut my grass today, and it's not a really, really good day. It's kind of rainy and overcast, but the grass needed to be cut. But like on a good day, I remember the last time I cut my grass, it was beautiful, and I was thinking to myself, wow, a beer would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
But then 2 seconds later, that thought goes out of my head.
Good.
The time I think about alcohol has decreased in time from like days to months to days.
Nice.
To minutes to like seconds, like to 10 seconds to 5 to 2. Now, like, I don't, I can even be around. Like my wife was drinking. I was bringing her drinks last night.
Okay.
At the party, at the concert last night, which I told you about. Which, by the way, Tim Jensen from Grunt Style says hi.
That's my boy. Yeah, I love Tim.
Dude, check out my Facebook. I got this picture where I'm doing doing like one of these with him.
Uh-huh.
Like he's a fellow Marine, great guy.
Yeah, he's awesome. I love Tim.
Yeah, I mean, everybody was drinking, but I was like, I even was interviewed last night by What the Fuck Productions.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, the guy he was just standing out in front of the National Palace, and he's like, I'm wearing my Hawaiian shirt and jeans. He's like, hey, you. I'm like,
Who,
me?
Yeah.
Who, me? Like, he's been calling me, and my tinnitus is so bad that like, I was with 6 people, and my wife's like, hey, this guy's like, he's been trying to get your attention. I'm like, who, that guy?
Yeah, like who's
like I'm like, what? I didn't even hear him at all.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, hey, come over here. I want to talk to you. He's like, who are you? I'm like, who am I? Who are you?
Yeah.
And I'm like, he's like, yeah, I want you to say a couple good things about Grunt Style Foundation and what they're doing for mental health and suicide prevention. And I'm like, okay, yeah. Well, I Richard Andrew Farr. I used to work for Irreverent Warriors. I was the lead coordinator for the Nashville Hike in 2019. We do a lot, and I said the motto. Do you know what the motto is for Irreverent Warriors?
I don't recall now.
We bring veterans together using humor and camaraderie to prevent veteran suicide and improve mental health.
That's right. Yep.
And I'm going to say this again because I know Nate McDonald, the COO of the Irreverent Warriors, is watching.
Yep.
Nate, I still have it imprinted in my brain. So thank you, sir.
Nice.
I love you. And Anna, love you too. But dude, seriously, I mean, Irreverent Warriors is great. And they've cleaned it up a lot. It was a lot of, it was a big drunk walking fest, like back in the 2015, 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And then Grunt Style Foundation, they've taken over. And I don't know, taken over. That might not be right. They have an MOU, and I think they work hand in hand together.
Right.
But now it's like a place where people can go and be themselves, and not have to worry about constraints or wearing really, really short shorts like silkies for Marines, Ranger panties for you Army people.
Yeah.
For you Army people, you guys got the Ranger panties.
Yep.
But no, it just, getting sober opened up so many doors to me. I mean, I couldn't even get that hike until I was 6 months sober. They wouldn't even let me even touch a hike until I was sober.
Right.
And after I got sober, I did that for 3 years. For Irreverent Warriors, I was a district. I was a regional, so I had Tennessee and Alabama, but I also had 5 different hikes in Tennessee: Clarksville, IW Clarksville, Chattanooga, Nashville, Memphis, Knoxville.
Wow.
Those were big hikes. They were. And then I had an opportunity come up because of what I was doing with them, and I was doing a pretty good job. One of my really, really good friends and mentor, who I saw last night and hugged for at least 5 minutes.
Nice.
His name is Brian Walker. He is the Assistant Adjutant General for the VFW currently right now.
Oh, wow.
Amazing man, my mentor, who was, when I came up in the VFW in Tennessee, he and I, we kind of, like, he was Air Force, but I met him and I thought he was a great guy. He was awesome. He was a great guy. He still is. And so back then, he was, I think, the junior vice commander of the state, or he was senior vice commander of the state. One of the two. He was in big leadership with the VFW.
Mm-hmm.
And so he told me, he's like, Andrew, we just lost our state chaplain. You would be a great chaplain for the state. Why don't you run? And so I did. I took his advice, and we had a big meeting, a big district meeting or something. I don't know what it was, but there were a lot of big wigs there. I was there. I got a first. I got a motion. I got a second. But passed, elected.
Wow.
Right there on the spot.
Nice.
Well, the chaplain, who was a chaplain for he was a really great chaplain. I met him once. He was great, and he passed away. And I had some big shoes to fill. And so I did the best I could. And I took what I learned in the Episcopal Church as an Episcopalian to do that with a servant leader's heart. So that year I went to 14. I said goodbye to Robert Wars. I said it nicely. I was like, hey, guys, I got this opportunity to be a chaplain for the state of Tennessee. And Zach Jenkins, the hike daddy, he took over my Nashville hike.
Nice.
But then I also said to the bigger leadership, I'm like, hey, I'm going to do this stuff with the VFW. And I was thinking in my back of my mind, maybe, we could start, the Rebel Warriors and VFW could start doing something together.
Mm-hmm.
Like having an MOU, which they have now, which is funny because they have it now, but they didn't have it back in 2020 when we wanted it.
Wow.
I don't know. It's a little slow going, but it's okay. It happened.
Mm-hmm.
But Brian, he became the state commander. And then I was the state chaplain for like 3 years.
Wow.
Brian went off and he was our legislative chair for 4 years. Really good. Really good. And then he got an opportunity to be the assistant adjutant general of the entire of 1.5 million members of the VFW.
That's wild.
So he moved from Memphis or Collierville, where he was living. He lives in Kansas City right now, where the VFW headquarters is. One of them,
Wow.
because you got DC and you got Kansas City, Missouri.
Hmm.
So he's out there. I saw him last night. He looks great.
Nice.
He does. And something happened because I recruited a lot of people in the VFW, over 300 people. In 3 years, 300 people. But something happened, and I did it legally. I did. I checked the bylaws. I read the bylaws over and over and over again to see if what I was doing was actually illegal, which it wasn't. And a lot of higher up people told me what I was doing wasn't illegal. But still, if somebody, and I'm not going to name names because, I'm glad it's over. And I still respect those guys. I do. But a lot of the guys that I put in were the guys I served with in Iraq in the 2 deployments.
Mm-hmm.
They all got the same ribbons as me, the same ribbons and medals as me.
Right.
So to get into the VFW, there's a whole lot of, are you in the VFW?
I am.
Joe?
I'm the senior vice commander of my local VFW. Yes,
Ah,
sir.
damn. That's the only position I have never been in the VFW. I have never been a senior vice in any echelon
Really?
of leadership. I've been commander, I've been junior, I've been quartermaster, I've been adjutant, and I've been trustee and
Nice.
chaplain.
Nice.
I have never, and I've never been surgeon. So I've never been surgeon or senior in any part of the VFW.
I've only been junior and senior vice commander. That's been my 2 positions.
Well, good for you, man. I'm really glad. I'm
Thank
happy.
you.
I hope you're doing very, very well with, you're a good man. And I think I can already tell you're going to be a good commander. You are.
I appreciate that. Thank you. One day. Yeah.
Yeah. One day, don't
Hmm.
rush into it like
No.
I did.
Yeah.
But I started a post. I did. I started a VFW. Like I was with a VFW, one post in Murfreesboro, and me and three other guys were like, hey, you know what? We need to make like a post for, the Iraq, Afghanistan guys, get some younger blood in.
Hmm.
Because the other post, it's been around for 75 years. So, and we weren't getting anything pushed through, and they didn't really listen to the young guys.
Hmm.
So, me and three other guys were like, hey, let's start a post. So, we did. And it was VFW 12206, which does not exist anymore. But it flourished for 3.5 years.
Wow.
We made 20 grand the first year. We hit every single recruiting commanders, what's it called? Commanders, the money they give you when you get recruiting, it's commanders.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember the term.
Yeah, so every month they commanders challenge.
Commander
So every
challenge.
month
Yeah,
they have a
yeah.
commanders challenge. So that first year, we met every single recruiting commanders challenge.
That's crazy for a new
So
post.
that helped. That was 10 grand that we made, but we made 10 grand on top of that. So we made a total of 20 that first year. We started with 26 people, and by the end of the year we had 145.
Wow.
Second year we had 215. Third year we were over 300.
That's amazing.
But like a lot of these guys, like once I got a lot of my guys in, then people started like looking at us like, oh, this is a really good post. We used to have 30 guys at a meeting, and then by the third year it dwindled down to about 15. Which, as you know, I don't know how many people you got in your post.
We have way more social members. That's the only thing that keeps us afloat than actual members. But I would say we're probably between total 200 to 230.
So 10% of that show up to meetings, right?
It's mainly the officers that show up to meetings. One or two maybe sit in, but it's pretty light.
Okay, so like maybe 8 or 9 people.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. See, that's the algorithm. That's the formula right there. 10% of your total amount, that's going to be going to the meetings. And then the shit that's going to actually get done in the VFW is a less percentage of that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, there was a time where it was just me and maybe 2 other guys doing the buddy poppy stuff, doing that, doing this, going out like on the weekends with a table and a skirt and begging for money and giving away poppies and signing people up. But yeah, I mean, we were doing all this, we were doing everything right. And then I run for district commander of District 5 in Tennessee. So I've got 10 posts under my belt. I am not going to be a commander of a post and a district commander at the same time. That's too much. Can't do it.
Way too much.
Too much.
Yeah.
Way too much. Too much paperwork. And yes, I'm retired. I probably could do it, but I wouldn't have a life.
Yeah, right.
And so, while I'm district commander, I leave. And all the guys that I got in, they don't pay their dues. Like,
oh shit,
they don't pay their dues.
Oof.
None of them do. We had it in place where the money that I made from taking care of the homeless guys went right to our post. That and I made a motion and a second and got it passed. It's in our minutes that the money that I made from coldest nights when it's 32 or below, I take the homeless men meet, we feed them, and then we give them a place of shelter for 5 months out of the year when it's really cold, 32 or below.
Okay.
So I would get $18 an hour for that. So all that money that I made would go to the post for the first 2 years. That money would pay for those NDPs, NPDs, those non-payment of due people. And they thought it was great. And then the third year, I took that money to myself, paid all their dues myself.
Wow.
There's a $6,000 tab on my IRS tax return to the VFW, which they found because all of this, because those guys weren't joining. So somebody complained, and a inspector general from Virginia was sent to Murfreesboro to inspect me and my recruiting process. He calls me up, and I already knew he was here because I have spies everywhere. And I had a guy, one of my fellow Marines, he called me up and he's like, "Hey, Andrew, you know you're getting inspected?" I'm like, "What? For what?"
Right.
He's like, "I don't know, but you're getting inspected." And I'm like, "Well, thanks, man." 2 days later, Rob, the inspector, calls. I know it's him because it's a number I don't recognize, and it's Virginia. I think it's Virginia. And I'm like, "I don't know anybody in Virginia. This has got to be him." I'm like, "Hey, Rob, what's going on?" And he's like it was silence for like 5 seconds. He's like, how do you know it was me?" I'm like, "Dude, like I just said, I got my spies. I've been doing this for 8 years, man. I got my ear to the grindstone, and it's not just me. Nice. I'm like that guy from John Wick. I'm like Lawrence Fishburne.
Okay.
I'm like the king. I'm the king of the Bowery.
Yeah, nice.
Okay, that's what I was. And so I heard this, and so he was a really nice guy. He was a Chief Warrant Officer 3, Army officer. I was a little harsh with him in the beginning of the conversation. I was like, "How dare you inspect?" I was doing all this stuff, and then we just and then we just calmed it down. And I was like, "Okay." And then I was like, "Where are you from?" And then I found out where he's from. I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And then we started talking like normal people. But he had my tax returns. He had everything.
Wow.
That I had done in 3 years. But see, the complaint came 2.5 years too late because I had already moved away from all of this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "Man, why are you doing this now? Like, you should have been doing this like 2.5 years ago when I was like they gave me a sword. Like 3 years in a row, Commander-in-Chief gave me a plaque of being Recruiter of the Year for Tennessee.
Wow.
Why weren't you guys doing this like last year or the year before that?"
Right.
It was just weird. But I wasn't found guilty. I actually, and you're going to be sad about this, and I'm sad too because I would have liked to call you my fellow comrade, but I wrote up my resignation letter from the VFW, and I turned in my membership card, and I'm like, it was a really good letter. It was really nice. Like, you guys have done a lot for me, but I just can't continue anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
that's a shame.
I could have gone apeshit on that, but I didn't. I was very nice and respectful.
Mm-hmm.
And now being sober has taught me to evaluate, and that's the whole premise of this whole thing. It's taught to evaluate what actually means near and dear to me.
Mm-hmm.
My family, my mental health, my sobriety, my 2 little dogs who are sleeping in the corner over there, my house, and my veterans, and helping them. That's one of the biggest ones, is helping veterans and trying to get them into, a good place. I can't put my name on, I can't sign my name to anything when it goes to the VA because I am not accredited at all, but I can get people to the right people. And I don't want to, I'm going to say this. I'm kind of a connector.
Good. That's good.
If I don't know how to do it, I will die, or I will work really, really hard finding the right person for you.
Yeah. So speaking of helping veterans, if there's a vet out there listening that is still drinking, still actively using, but is considering quitting, and they haven't hit a rock bottom or they haven't had an aha moment yet, what could you tell them to kind of convince them to get on this side of sobriety?
That's a really, really good question because, I mean, being a grateful alcoholic, I went through a lot of white chips. They're upstairs. I went through those rooms. I got my white chip a lot. I would go out, I'd come back in, I'd go out, come back in, go out, come back in. If you are drinking and you don't know you have a problem, that is that's very hard, because I was stubborn as hell. I didn't know I had a problem. But it's like you said, until you are at the bottom of the barrel, until you are on your knees, be it homeless, be it sleeping in a gutter, okay, and then I did this. If you are searching for change in your couch just so you can go and get a drink at a 7-Eleven, there's something wrong. But I mean, if you don't know, the signs are there. Like, you can take a quiz, and not online, but like a mental check. Like, when you wake up in the morning, do you think about getting drunk? Do you think about drink? What do you think about when you get up? Do you think about drinking a margarita, or do you think about drinking a cup of coffee or having a bowl of cereal? Which way are you going to go? And the best thing and I hate to say this, but sometimes a person has to wait for that aha moment. I remember I was on an AA call, an AA visit. This guy, he was drinking, drunk as hell, but he had been to a meeting and he gotten a white chip. But like, he called me and he was drinking. I mean, he was drinking a bottle. He lived like across town. I go over, and this is damn. My big book is upstairs. But just like the big book, this guy, like me, I went over to this guy's house to sit with him. What did I bring him? I brought him a bottle of booze, and I told him, I was like, hey, because I learned from the old school guys. So I brought him a bottle. I'm like, this is your last bottle ever. You're going to drink this. And that's it. And then you're going to come to meetings with me. We're going to do 90 and 90. I'm going to be your sponsor. And we're going to go through the steps. Now that's harsh. Mm-hmm. Like, that's harsh. Because if you cold turkey someone really bad with the DTs and stuff like that,
oh yeah, you could die. Yeah.
It's going to be bad.
Right.
And you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And for you at home, DTs, it's called delirium tremens. It's when you are craving, your body is craving so bad that you hallucinate. I've had them. My dad, when he was alive, before I joined the Marine Corps, he saw me with DTs. He actually took me to Chili's, made me drink like 2 beers just so I could like stop shaking, because I was sweating, I was shaking, I was lying on the couch. Like, he was like, Andrew, you got to come with me right now. And he was a board certified psychiatrist, and he did that. But if they're not that bad, you can do an AA call, and you can go to their house, and I've done this before, go to their alcohol and pour all of it out. If they're not going through DTs, they're going to be pissed. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, hey, do you want to stop? Do you want to stop? Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? And that I loved, because I was at the point, and see, and I'm talking to, not you, Joe, but I'm talking to everybody. But if you are at that on your knees moment, you need to be selfish as hell. I know it's going to suck, and the people around you are not going to be very happy about that. But you have to be selfish about yourself, because, and I learned this a long time ago, you cannot start to help other people until you help yourself.
Amen.
And Joe, are you a friend of Bob too? Bill, sorry.
Mm-mm.
You're not a friend. You don't go to meetings or nothing.
No, in the beginning, I went to like 2 meetings, but it really wasn't my thing. So no.
And and I'm not gonna bash anyone who doesn't want to go to AA. AA it's great for some people, but it works if it works if you work it. Mm-hmm. Okay, for AA. But it also goes with whatever program or whatever modality you want to use to quit drinking. It'll only work if you work that program.
Right.
And it's funny, man. I'm glad you brought that up, because when I first got sober, I was actually kind of upset at people that didn't use AA. Like, I was very biased to, like, in the first 3 months, I was very, very biased about people like not using AA. I'm like, why aren't you using AA? It's been around since 1935. I mean, it's helped over 1 million people. Why aren't you doing this? And then I went to Save a Warrior, and my mind kind of like, oh shit. Well, there's a step 10. I need to apologize to all these people now. That's okay. Step 9 is amends, but step 10 is you have to, it's a daily amends. Okay. That's your catch-all. Like, that's your daily thing, is your step 10. Step 9 is the people you've hurt that that's the people you've hurt. But step 10 is a daily reminder that hey, should I have said that to that person? Should I apologize to that person? Do I owe her an apology? Was I speaking out of turn?
Right.
Step 10 is for like every day. Step 9 is like the big ones. But yeah, I was always biased, like in the beginning. Why the fuck are these people using AA? And I thought I'm sorry. I'm going to say this. I'm sorry. I didn't think very highly of these non-AA people. Right. I was an AA snob. I was, and I apologize. Well, I'm Andrew Farr, and that's how I became a sober vet.
If this story helped you, hit like, subscribe, and follow this Sober Vet podcast. Every click helps another veteran know they're not alone and that recovery is possible.